These are 3 items that I think you should consider implementing into your design, mostly just because I get asked for them a lot. And when you have I have a questionnaire, and in that questionnaire, people can share Pinterest boards with me or Instagram reels, and these pop up a lot. So they're in no particular order, but I think you really should consider each and every one of them. So the first one is a floating vanity. There's so many great things that can come from a floating vanity. It makes everything look so elevated, especially when you put lights underneath. And it also has the benefit of your robot vacuum and mop can just get under there. You can truly clean everything out. If you're anything like me and you want a nice spick and span bathroom that you don't have to get on your hands and knees in order to clean, floating vanities are a great option. Some of them, like this one, is a little bit lower to the ground, so it's not going to afford as much flexibility, but if you can really float it extensively, I would definitely consider it. If you put this into your design, make sure that you notate that it needs to have extra backer support to go on. So it can't just sit on the floor, it's got to be mounted onto the wall. The next one are wet rooms. I see people asking for this a lot. So a wet room, if you haven't been exposed to that previously, is your shower is large enough that your tub also fits in the shower. It can be really space saving in tight quarters because you still want that standalone tub, but you also want this grand shower. And this is the best of both worlds because in the same footprint, you can fit those things that I couldn't fit this large of a shower, as well as a tub that was easily accessible and functional. Another consideration with that and why it's great is it's sloped to the drain, so it makes washing your tub a breeze. You can wash the inside and the outside. Previously, if you were just washing the inside of your standalone tub, the suds would go down to the drain, but then the outside you'd have to kind of wipe it off. This, you can just, when you're in the shower, when you're thinking about it, or you're just sitting there daydreaming, you can rinse off your tub at the same time. I think that's a great option. This one is the best of 3 worlds. So it's not only a small footprint, it feels grand, it's nice and inviting, but it also can double as a bench seat or shaving area because you can easily just sit there on the edge if you want and you're still in the shower. And so that's a great option. One thing that I don't have people really consider when they say that they want a wet room is, unless it's closed off like these 2 are, this one can get quite cold. It can be a very cold environment. And secondarily to that, it utilizes normally a lot of glass. So if you're not the type of person that wants to squeegee off your glass all the time, or dry it off repeatedly, put Rain-X on it, something, it can get a little dingy looking kind of easy. So that's just some considerations for if you think a wet room might be best for you. And the third one that I see a lot of people gravitating towards nowadays is the shower shelf. So the shampoo shelf in place of a niche. In order to accomplish this, you would double frame the lower wall. And so you would have let's say it's a 2x4 wall, you would go 2 2x4s up to a certain point, whether that's 4 or 5 feet off the ground or 3-6. I would say 4 is a nice kind of happy medium. 36 is the same height as a kitchen countertop. I feel like that's a little low. It proportionally looks kind of strange, but you can just double frame it up to that portion. You put a sill on it, and then now instead of just a little niche for all of your shampoo bottles, you have the entire rack. If you're anything like me, you have like 8 different shampoos that you switch between, and you don't always want to have to store that in your vanity, get it out with a shower caddy, so it can be put into the shower. These examples are very aesthetically pleasing, so you're really looking at it from a vibe perspective. But if somebody wants a lot of storage, but they don't want to necessarily look at it, just consider tucking it, whether if it's a walk-in shower, tucking it onto a wall that you don't immediately see when you're looking through the glass, or if it's, let's say that this is a half wall, instead you would just kind of do a little ledge action, you'd tier it so that it can be hiding and so they don't see all those shampoo bottles. There's both ways. I can see how it looks nice and crisp. If you are the type of person that wants to put all of your products in beautiful jars and bottles, why not showcase that? But I can also see how you don't want it to look like a grocery store shelf. So it's kind of depends on how you or anybody would live in the space. So if you're like me, I maybe don't want to put it into secondary bottles, but I love the option of all that storage. So I would probably want it on a little bit more tucked in kind of application. So those are the 3 bath items that I've been hearing a lot of people coming to me and wanting to incorporate into their projects. And so you may want to consider that too. And that's just for bathrooms. And there's the whole house to consider. But as far as bathrooms go, there are 3 items that can make a big standout difference with maybe minimal upcharge. It's possible.